Soy Juan Francisco González, de la revista Agrosíntesis en México, especializada en cultivos extensivos. Y aquí estamos con Stan Bourne y con Carlos Salinas de USSEC. And I'd like to ask some questions, starting with Stan. And Stan, as a chairman of USSEC, could you please tell us about the significance of the America's U.S. Agricultural Cooperative Conference?
Well, thank you for that question. This conference is a signature event for us from a couple of perspectives. First, because it's bringing together soy and grains and wheat and rice, so all of the key commodities that are required for your food complex. And it's also significant from the standpoint of the clientele that come to this conference. These are leaders in the industry here in this region. And these people are the decision makers. They're the ones who lead and influence how the food complex goes. And so it's an important venue, not only for us to share our technology and to share our information to help keep people up to date, but it's also a great place for them to network and to share and to collaborate amongst each other. So this is an exciting event. I always look forward to it. I've had the opportunity to attend more than once, and I think I find that many of the attendees are not first-timers. They keep coming back. So there must be some value there.
Amazing. Good. Thank you very much. Carlos, as USSEC Regional Director for the Americas, you have a deep knowledge of agricultural trade in Latin America. Can you tell us about exports of U.S. soy to Latin America and the potential for further growth in the region?
Yeah, thank you. And that's a very good question. As I think I've stated before, that we have very deep roots in the relationship between U.S. soy farmers, the industry, and Latin America. And those roots are for various reasons. I would say one of them is proximity, right? And the other one is for the capacity to be able to provide efficiently and sustainably a much needed raw material to countries that have a difficult time producing it themselves, right? So we have a fast logistical network, particularly in Mexico, right? Where we have a very solid bilateral trade. We have a network system on the railroad that is considered part of one, which is amazing to have. And we have a very efficient logistical program with commercial houses that have vessels going constantly to Latin America to serve Central America, to serve South America. As we go forward, this relationship, it's only going to expand for various reasons. But one of those reasons is we have a structure in the U.S. today, and according to many of our experts, we're going to be expanding the soy processing capacity in the U.S., and we're going to be expanding the supply of soybean meal, which part of that will go to our domestic market, but the great majority is going to go to the export market. I'll give you some numbers, right? Some of the experts believe that we're going to go from exporting 12 million metric tons of soybean meal out of the U.S., potentially going to 20 to 24 million metric tons in 3 to 5 years. Wow. That's a significant number, right? Now, many factors can change that. The scaling of that can actually be variable. It could change over time. But you have to recognize that 7 out of the 10 soybean meal buyers in Latin America, soybean meal is one of the feed ingredients that we produce that represents about 75% of the soybeans, right? Okay. But 7 out of those 10 countries are in Latin America. With this potential growth, or this growth that we are anticipating, Latin America will play a more important role, and that relationship will only get deeper.
Thank you very much. Again, with you, what can buyers of soy expect to see in terms of prices during the rest of the year?
Well, I have a magic ball here that's going to tell me where it's going to go. Let's pull it out, Stan. No, it's a very good question, and I think the answer is we can expect an increase in volatility, right? And we're experiencing it today. We went through a drought in Argentina recently. Argentina, a country that's supposed to produce 50 million metric tons of soybeans, they came out with a harvest close to 21 million metric tons. Wow. A significant, partially offset by a graded production in Brazil, but not totally, right? In the U.S. today, Stan can probably tell you a bit more about the conditions, but the USDA is telling us that the crop conditions for soybeans and corn are deteriorating due to weather conditions. So now, while we have a diverse states and diverse footprint to provide the rest of the world with soybeans, right? I think we have some concerns, and the market is beginning to react to some of those concerns. So we've seen volatility in the market. We've seen soybeans rally, and then whenever we have no rain, and then we get a little bit of better precipitation outlook for the next 2 weeks, and the market drops, right? So all I can tell you is I don't know how it's going to turn out at the end of the day, right? It's going to depend much to weather, but volatility will be a constant, and it's very important for the customers in the region to get advice from risk managers, professionals that can help you take different protection mechanisms, right?
Just talking about options.
Options, right?
Okay.
And forward contracting, so you don't get in a position where you are completely displaced. It's also to deal with first-class suppliers, right? People that you know. And we have, within our membership, we have a vast number of first-class suppliers.
Yeah, that's a culture we need to implement in Mexico. Coverage, protection for volatility.
That's right.
That's another topic. For Stan, Stan, what does USSEC do to promote U.S. soy worldwide, and what is your vision for exports of U.S. soy in the next 5 years?
I feel very fortunate as a U.S. farmer to be represented by USSEC, and I'm honored by the opportunity to play a small role in that. One of the things that we have going for us is a very skilled staff that generate valid and impactful data and information to help our customers. And we deploy that in 82 countries with boots on the ground, with people in country or nearby and covering the country to deliver that information. And it's not just about delivering information, but it's about being shoulder to shoulder and helping them implement the advice and the recommendations. I'm also proud of the product that we have to offer. USSoy, as we discussed a bit earlier, does offer some intrinsic and extrinsic value, and particularly when it comes to animal feed. Most of the soy is used as a protein component of animal feed, and one of the things, because of our growing conditions and the 4 seasons that we have, the quality of our product, particularly when you look at the chemistry, the amino acids that get consumed, and the animals turn those amino acids into flesh. It's a very good balance, and it's very nutritional for those animals. And our product also has a higher energy content than many other sources of origin. And so one thing you can always rely on is that the animals will not lie. When they use U.S. soy in their rations, they tend to put on more pounds quicker in a more cost-effective manner that benefits our customers and ultimately benefits consumers. To answer your question about the outlook for the next 5 years, I'm optimistic simply because of the fundamentals. As you know, there are ups and downs in the economies of different countries around the world, but people strive to be at a higher socioeconomic level. As economies improve, people's diets change. They move from a carbohydrate-based diet to more of a protein-rich diet. And for soy, that's good news.
Good. Interesting. And finally, a question for both of you. Throughout the event, the word partnership was mentioned many times. How would you describe the nature of this partnership between USSEC and USSoy and animal protein companies worldwide, and what do you do to strengthen it?
Well, the thing that, to answer the last question first, what do we do to strengthen it? It's events like this, and it's being present with valuable information, with skilled technical people to help our customers effectively utilize U.S. soy. I think that, as I said, we're present in country, 82 countries around the world, and our goal is to utilize soy to have a positive impact on every life, every day. And I think we're well positioned to be able to do that. We've got the right product, we've got the right team, and our customers are willing to work with us, and they trust us. And that's not given, that's earned. And we treasure that, and we want to maintain that by pursuing excellence in everything that we do.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would say, I take a lot of pride, and we take a lot of pride in connecting our U.S. farmers, connecting our industry, connecting our experts with Latin America, with our poultry producers, hog producers, aquaculture producers, and helping them elevate them to a higher level, right? There's a limited amount of resources in the world today, right? And I think we all understand the value of sustainability. Stan is working certainly in sustainable, smart agricultural practices on the farm. He's producing, over time, he has improved his yields per acre, or tons per hectare, if you want to call it. So it's been a great job, and I think it's one of the great efforts that we've done, and doing it sustainably. As we go in the value chain, right, we need to help those poultry producers to be able to optimize the utilization of all those raw materials, including soybean meal, to be able to use less resources to produce that ton of chicken, or that ton of pork, or that ton of tilapia, right? It's very important. So we are part of it, but it's very important the whole value chain becomes more efficient, because that's the only way that that final product is going to be accessible to the end user. It's going to be accessible to that consumer, that child that is eating those eggs in the school, right, at an accessible price. So it's very important. If we don't do that, I'm really concerned on where we're going, because certainly we don't have all the land available in the world, to deforest and increase our production. We have to get smarter.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Very interesting point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.